everybody, good to see you. My name is Rafey and I'm 8 years old, currently in year 4. So as soon as I said 8, I bet your mind started making assumptions about who I am and what I like to do. Let me guess, running around like crazy, goofing around with friends, making a mess, not doing homework and just wanting to play video games all day. Well, no, not exactly true. I do, however, hate homework. Oops, I hope my teacher's not in the room. Let me tell you a little story. I started reading when I was 1 year old, and there I am. By H2 quatrefoil was my favorite shape, and yes, it's a shape, and I memorized a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's landed me on TV and in newspapers. At 4 years old, I started studying robotics. Then shortly after, discovered music and started playing the piano and violin. No earplugs required. I'm actually quite good. Most recently, I won 3 golds and a bronze in the 2018 Olympiad. I now attend a few courses in secondary school. I should be easy to spot, but just in case. So the truth is, I can do a lot, and that's why I'm here today, to ask you to never underestimate an 8-year-old. So I have a few thoughts I'd like to share with you. Let's start with school. I feel like schools tend to limit our creativity. Take art, for example. Why do we have to color inside the lines? Who came up with that rule? What about all the famous abstract artists like Kandinsky and Pollock? They don't color inside the lines, and I think they've done pretty well for themselves, so I should read. Also, why do we have to color all the trees green anyway? If kids want to color them pink, go ahead. It's called a sakura tree. Next up is spelling. Although some degree of spelling is important, remember we do have spell checks, so it's not the end of the world. Same goes for memorizing facts. We've got Google now. Cursive writing. Really? Truly? Why? If I'm more comfortable writing letters separately, why does it matter? Shouldn't I be learning to type faster anyway because of all the technology, plus we save the environment? I also feel like sometimes school holds us back. Let me tell you another little story. I was recently invited over to the American University of Sharjah, where I was lucky enough to meet a physics professor one-on-one, who helped me expand on a current theory that has been baffling me. How could I travel at its own speed? As in, light has mass, right? If so, then how can it travel at that speed? Because mass weighs it down. Okay, here are 4 words to describe what we did. We talked. A lot! 45 minutes to be exact. We talked about Einstein's theory of relativity, E equals mc squared, string theory, wave theory, and much more. I was honestly very happy. It was great to have someone to share my thoughts and questions on these topics that I'd read about on my own and listen and explain the answers to me. You see, I'm in year 4, so in order for me to be taught advanced physics and chemistry, which I'm dying to learn, I would have to wait for another 6 years or so. So I guess my problem with the current education system becomes quite clear. Why put an age on learning? I want to learn about polymers and monomers and debate why Planck length is considered the smallest measurement known to man when I believe it could be made even smaller. Why make me wait? Surely there must be some AI program out there that can allow me to learn the subjects that I'm interested in at my own pace. I really wish education was more personalized. From what I hear, my mom was taught the same subjects in pretty much the same way. The thing is, we don't know what the future will look like. I went to JESS 2018 and to see what AI was doing was mind-blowing. I saw a self-driven mobile grocery store that comes to your home through an app, flying drone-like cars, a plastic-eating water bottle called Bluefin, and I even got to set up my own web page in real time in minutes without doing any coding, just by drawing a set of shapes on a whiteboard. So, what should we be learning in school? Right now, schools are excited to teach us how to code. But it seems to me as though coding will soon be replaced by AI, who will do all the work for us. So I guess what we really need to do is just think of the ideas and the boss will do the rest. What I believe schools really need to focus on is to teach us how to think for ourselves and how to dream big and think differently. Might as well have been a kid like me who dreamed about flying cars. Now it's a reality. The new idea is ridiculous at the moment and should not be dismissed. Don't underestimate an 8-year-old. So, instead of focusing on teaching us what is known, teach us how to make the unknown possible. Times are changing! Drum roll! YouTubing is now a profession! TEDEdClub made $18.5 million in 2018. And you can now get a gaming scholarship now into top universities and win hundreds of thousands of dollars in gaming leagues. Rather than trying to limit our screen time, can you please teach me how to create a successful YouTube channel and market it? Only safely? That's my next project. Any mentors out there? Speaking of gaming, it's not a complete waste of time as some adults might think. Love you, Mom. For example, take my favorite game, Minecraft, or what I prefer to call Minecraft. If you haven't already tried it, it's amazing. I've learned a ton from it. I've learned to apply some of the physics concepts that I've read about, for example, levers and pressure plates. I've learned about architecture and redstone science. I've learned 3D depth perception and this sense of direction, how to type faster, acronyms like AFK, that's away from the keyboard by the way, and lots of other stuff that you wouldn't expect. I built some pretty unique structures like a working mailing and conveyor belt system and a fully functioning 3x3 piston door in addition to things like roller coasters and probability houses. So it's really not just a game and so not a waste of time. Same can be said about me spending time on my iPad. Yes, it is screen time. But if I wasn't on it, I would not know about the Fibonacci sequence or the first 16 digits of pi, which go a bit like 3.141592653589793. Another thing that schools don't teach us, by the way, is how to make friends, which is a crucial thing nowadays because most people just sit next to each other on their devices. Teach us how that online likes are not a substitute for having actual physical friends. Next, let me share a couple of thoughts now about employment. So I recently tried to apply for a job with a company called Hypixel. Hypixel is a company that creates worlds and hosts them on a server for Minecraft. I love creating my own unique world in Minecraft, and I'm very fast too. So I applied for the role of helper, only to find out that the minimum age for applying was 16 years old. That's double my age. Surely, in today's world, applications should be considered based on ability and not age. Hypixel, this is only a suggestion, but please, can you reconsider? Last but not least, a quick message for parents. Don't water down information. Explain things in full detail. We might just surprise you with how much we understand and can remember. I'm lucky because my parents explain everything to me in detail, even if they have to Google the answer first. So my time is up, and I want to leave you with one final message, if you haven't already guessed it by now. Always give kids a chance, regardless of age, based on ability. Oh, and if you want to reach me, you can do so on my new Instagram account, alan.era, which is controlled by my mom as I'm not 13 yet. Case in point. Thank you for listening. Bye.